Beautiful. Good morning, everyone. As the comments on YouTube and Facebook show, we should have stayed in bed a little bit later. 2 attempts to wish everyone a good morning with 2 mistakes right away. So there you go. Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Sandra Bichl, and I am presenting today the global job market overview by Career Angels, looking at a summary of December 2022. To try to answer the question, is it a candidate or an employer's market? Not to want to spoil, or for those who actually want to log off after not even a minute of our live stream, December was an employer's market 100% all the way. But let's look at specifics. Given the nature of our business, which is career consulting and supporting HR departments, Career Angels wants and needs to understand how macroeconomic changes actually influence the job market. Therefore, we record, process, analyze, for example, unemployment levels or the number of published job ads on LinkedIn. My team and I, we have gathered over 11,000, almost 12,000 data points, received over 500 insights from executives and HR directors, published 91 monthly reports, 535 daily updates, 13 special reports, and we have now been tracking 80 countries around the world for 32 months. So lots of data and lots of insights. You can find all of our data and those insights on our SlideShare account under Career Angels, or on our Market Signal Showcase page on LinkedIn with daily updates of the most important changes. But why would you even want to follow that? Why do we do that, and who can find our data useful? Well, from an employer's perspective, it's important to understand. How much demand there is for candidates, how many candidates are available, to then translate that into recruitment and employer branding strategies. From a candidate's perspective, if you understand that dynamic of how many co-competitors there are, how many companies are hiring, that then translates into you being able to understand how much time and effort will have to be put into your job search, or how much you can push during salary negotiations. Now, everybody probably who is already here wants to be here. We're streaming on free platforms across YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And if at any point you'd like to comment, react, or share that session, please do. We do have a Q&A session at the very end, but start thinking and formulating your questions to make sure I can answer them. Now, the structure of today, we will look at global reach, Europe in detail, global perspective in more detail, Germany, the UK, the US, the DACH region, Belgium, Poland, and Italy. And I'll be sharing lots of tips and resources along the way. So, global reach, the changes in the number of job ads on LinkedIn for Europe, Africa, and the Americas for December 2022. The curves kind of already show it, but in detail, Africa has lost 11.17% of published job ads on LinkedIn. The Americas minus 7.35%, and Europe minus 11.38%. Minus 11.38% for December. Is that good or bad? How was it in the last years? Well, let's have a look. Now here, what you see is 32 months of data collection for Europe. And you can see that each end of the year means a decline in the number of published job ads. It's the holidays. Companies think about other things than recruiting, which is okay. So the pattern of that decline in December is there, no big deal. But one thing that you can already see is that 2022 was very different than 2021 and 2020. And we will prepare an annual summary, so that is only a December summary, but we will prepare a comparison of 2022 to 21 to 2020. So when we look at Europe, it's not about, well, the winners of December are the ones who have lost the least. So Finland, Italy, Czechia, Germany, Sweden, Belgium, up to, I'd say, the Netherlands, have seen the smallest decreases in the number of published job ads, meaning the smallest decreases in demand for candidates. With the highest decreases, Slovenia minus 18%, Poland minus 18.52%, Estonia almost minus 20%, Lithuania minus 20%, France minus 25%. In France, 184,923 job ads have disappeared from LinkedIn in 1 month. And in Spain, that's almost 30,000 minus 26.87%. Huge changes. So if you're actively looking for a job in Europe, I recommend you join our Hidden Job Market group on LinkedIn to find the best job ad gems for executives. And you can find the link to that group in our comment section. If you enjoy working remotely, you will see that we also have a dedicated remote edition for executive in our Hidden Job Markets group. Okay, now the global perspective. With a little bit closer look. When we look at week 1 of 2023 as compared to week 1 of 2022, yes, Europe is below last year's level by minus 9.47%. Having said that, the biggest 20 economies worldwide see an increase of 1.05%, Americas 1.38%, and the top 10 economies in Africa 8.32%. So yes, December has seen a decline, but the first week of January as compared to last year for 52 countries sees a better start into 2020, well, into the new year than the year prior. The US sees a decrease of 0.12%, so that's okay. UK, big change. Same time last year, the UK market on LinkedIn had 758,436 published job ads on LinkedIn. This year, it's a little bit over 500,000, so that's minus 25.9%. Big change. Germany, minus 3.15%. Going a little bit deeper, when you look at the US, in December, minus 6.10%, UK, minus 15.5%, Germany, minus 3.58%. The bi-monthly changes, for Germany, the overall sum is positive, so plus 2.98%. UK minus 31.03%. So you can see that downwards trends. It is difficult to be a candidate currently in the UK, which is good news for employers because that means it's definitely an employer's market. US minus 5.58%. And you can clearly see what's happening across the last 2 months in the US. So what does that mean? As I've already said, from an employer's perspective, understanding the demand for candidates, but also the availability of candidates, meaning unemployment rates, you can translate that easily into the right strategy to attract talent. Sometimes, yes, post and pray will be a fantastic solution. Sometimes, yes, it's more than enough to simply post a job ad and you attract the talent that you want. When the job market is more competitive, you need to do active sourcing using social media like LinkedIn. Sometimes you do have to hire a recruitment agency if there is low unemployment and lots of demand. On the other hand, or parallel to that, it's always a good idea to think of your employer branding, define your candidate personas, to make all of those mentioned efforts much more effective. From a candidate's perspective, things have changed over the last 3 years. What is now expected of candidates is to have a precise career and job search goal, to know how you position yourself well as a candidate. You need to have 2 CVs, one for humans, one for applicant tracking systems. Your LinkedIn profile has to be optimized for both the human target group, so the researchers, headhunters, recruiters, talent acquisition specialists, and hiring managers, but also for the LinkedIn algorithm. And candidates do need to generate interest by activating all 4 job search channels. If you're not quite sure what I mean with CV for humans versus applicant tracking systems, there are a couple of resources. One, you can download our CV ATS guide. If you're not that much into reading, you can go ahead and watch this video. And once you have adapted your CV, I recommend you request a CV ATS report by sending an email, attach your CV, say in the subject line ATS compliance report. And our recommendation, especially if you're in a competitive market and you apply to job ads where there are a lot of candidates, to score at least 80% to increase your chances of landing an interview. Now, if you're more of the talking type and say, well, can you walk me through that? Can you talk me through that? Then please do book a free career consultation with us. Again, as I've said, we're streaming on 3 platforms. We will soon go into Q&A. So start thinking about your questions. Before we do that, our last batch of information for today. The DACH region in December, we already have discussed Germany in detail, but let's have a look at Austria and Switzerland. Austria minus 5.5% in the number of published job ads. Switzerland minus 17.59%. So the Swiss have switched off for Christmas. Now, by monthly changes, Germany, we've already said, overall it's a plus 2.98%, Austria minus 14.32%, and Switzerland minus 4%. And our last 3 countries for today, Belgium, Italy, Poland. Belgium minus 4.29%, Italy minus 2.77%, Poland minus 22.72%. So being a candidate in Poland in December and the beginning of January, not an easy job market to be in currently. Now, if you have any questions, please, or comments, please start posting them now. In the meantime, I'll wrap up and share a couple of more resources. If you yourself are interested in our profession, you are a recruiter, HR professional, career advisor, career coach, we do have a dedicated closed group on LinkedIn for that, where we share our know-how and support each other. If you are of the DIY kinds, we have a dedicated Udemy course called Every Step of the Job Search Explained and Backed by Research. We also have a YouTube channel with lots of tips, tools, and strategies, as it says, for your successful career and job search. If you say, this is great, the know-how you share is of value, you can thank us by following our content or buying us a virtual coffee. And if there are no questions, I know it's actually a day off in a lot of countries in Europe. So if you watch the recording or if you don't feel like asking questions in public during a live stream, feel free to reach out to me directly via LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Fantastic. Well, what I'm left to say is Happy New Year once again. And I truly hope that 2023 will be way better than 2022 for both employers and candidates. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.